Hi, welcome to English for Nursing 2. Here I'd like to explain to you about respiratory system. Are you ready? Okay, check this out. Well, when we talk about respiratory system, it means we talk about breathing. Breathing is the process that brings oxygen in the air into your lungs and moves oxygen and through your body. And then the human respiratory system is a series of organs responsible for taking in oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide. So, in respiratory system there are many organs with their function. Please have a look at this picture. This is the pictures of respiratory organs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 organs that we will discuss in this meeting. Number 1 is nose. Number 2, mouth. Number 3, epiglottis. Number 4, pharynx. Number 5, larynx. Number 6, trachea. 7, lung. Number 8, bronchus. Number 9, bronchioles. Number 10, diaphragm. And number 11, alveoli. Each organ in this system works together to do the respiratory process, with each organ has each function, different function. Okay, let's start from the first organ. It is nose. As you can see, on the tip of the nose there are 2 holes. It's the entrance of the air to the nose. These holes or this entrance is called nostrils. And then inside the nose there is a hollow space in the skull that help regulate the temperature and the humidity of the air we breathe. This hollow space is called sinuses. So inside our mouth there is a hollow space called sinuses that the function is to help regulate the temperature and the humidity of the air that we breathe. And there is also a tiny hair which is called cilia that the function is to filter the air. So the function of the nose is to moist, filter and warm the air. Okay, let's go to the next one. What is this? Yep, this is mouth. Mouth belongs to respiratory organ because this organ take in air and transport it to the pharynx. So we can also breathe through our mouth. Also, we usually breathe through our nose, but sometimes when we've got flu, we can breathe through our mouth. This is epiglottis. This is the organ that used to prevent the food and liquids from entering the windpipe when we breathe. And to make sure that the food and liquid enter the right track when we eat or drink. So epiglottis can close and open. It is closed when we eat something, so the food and liquids enter the esophagus, and then it's open when we breathe. Yeah, that's epiglottis. If we talk and breathe at the same time, sometimes we will get choked. You know, choked when something, maybe food or liquid, is entering the windpipe and suddenly we cough, or our breathing is blocked. It's called choked. That's why epiglottis is very important, and talking while eating is dangerous. Don't do it. Next, this is pharynx. Pharynx is located behind the nose and at the end of the mouth, behind the mouth. And it consists of three parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx is behind the nose, oropharynx is behind the mouth, and laryngopharynx is above the larynx. And the function of this organ is to pass the air from the mouth to the lungs. Then let's go to the next organ. It's larynx. Larynx is located under the pharynx. Yeah, it's located behind the epiglottis and above the trachea. And larynx consists of supraglottis, vocal cord, glottis, and subglottis. Do you notice one of the part? It's vocal cord. Yeah, vocal cord means an organ that produces a vocalization. That's why the function of larynx is to produce vocalization or speech. And larynx is also called as vocal cord or voice box. And then the next organ is a long pipe called trachea. Trachea. Trachea is a kind of pipe that extends downward for about 12 centimeters. And its function is to filter the air we inhale and transits into the bronchi. Although the air has been filtered in the nose, again the trachea is filtered. Because in the trachea there is a tiny hair like in the nose, which is called cilia. And then on the lower part of the trachea, it branches into two. The branches is called bronchi. Okay, so about bronchi. Just have a look at the picture. This is bronchi. The bronchial tubes are lined with tiny hairs called cilia that move back and forth, carrying mucus up and out. So, along with the trachea and also the bronchi, there are cilia that filters the air. And then bronchi also produce the mucus that moves up and out. The mucus is a sticky fluid that collects dust, germs, and other matter that has invaded the lungs and is what we expel when we sneeze and cough. And then the bronchial tubes split up again to carry air into the lobes of each lung. So bronchi, because we have two bronchus. So bronchus is an organ to pass air from the lungs through two pipes of the trachea and vice versa. And then this tube split up again to carry air into the lobes of each lungs. Okay, so to the branches. The small branches of bronchi is called bronchioles. Bronchioles are organs to pass the air from bronchi to the alveoli. Alveoli is also called airbag of the lungs. Now, this is the lungs. We have two lungs, the right lung and the left lung. The right lung has three lobes, while the left lung has only two. Its function is to accommodate room for the heart, according to the American Lung Association. The lobes are filled with small, spongy sacs called alveoli, which is where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs. So, the function of the lungs are to transfer the oxygen found in the atmosphere into the bloodstream and release carbon dioxide into the air. As I explained before, that inside the lungs there is a small spongy sac called alveoli, which is where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs. So this is the alveoli. You can see the picture. The shape is like grapes, and the function is to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide gases. Just for your information, the alveolar walls are extremely thin. It's about 0.2 micrometers and are composed of single layer of tissues called epithelial cells and tiny blood vessels called pulmonary capillaries. Blood in the capillaries picks up oxygen and drops off carbon dioxide. The oxygenated blood then makes its way to the pulmonary vein. This vein carries oxygen-rich blood to the left side of the heart, where it is pumped to all parts of the body. The carbon dioxide the blood left behind moves into the alveoli and gets expelled in our exhaled breath. Okay, that is a glance about alveoli. And the last organ is diaphragm. Diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle at the bottom of the lungs. The function is to control breathing and separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. When air gets taken in, the diaphragm tightens and moves downward, making more space for the lungs to fill with air and expand. Then, during the exhalation, the diaphragm expands and compresses the lungs, forcing the air out. So, the function of the diaphragm is to pump the carbon dioxide out of the lungs and pull the oxygen into the lungs. Well, that's all the short explanation about the organs of respiratory system and the function. Now, let's discuss about the process of respiration. Have you ever count how many times do you breathe in a minute? Do you realize that if breathing, each time you inhale and exhale the air, it involves many organs. Many organs in our respiratory system works together to do the process of inspiration and expiration. Okay, so let's discuss the steps one by one. The first step is oxygen is taken from the environment. And then nostrils bring air into the nose. Third, inside the nose, the air is moistened, warmed, and filtered. After that, the cilia inside the nose protect the nasal passageways by filtering the dust, the dirt, and materials inflated and materials in the air. And then, number 5, air enters through larynx and pharynx. So from the nose, the air enters the larynx and pharynx. After that, the trachea, which is extends downward about 12 centimeters, brings the air into the bronchus. So the air passes the bronchi and the bronchioles. After the air passes the bronchioles, it enters the alveoli. And then inside the alveoli, the gas is exchanged. The exchange of the gas means the oxygen is taken from the air and transported to the bloodstream. On the other side, the carbon dioxide from the bloodstream is taken to the air and sent to the bronchioles. So the carbon dioxide is transferred to the alveoli and the air brings carbon dioxide to the bronchioles. From the bronchioles, the carbon dioxide passes bronchi and trachea. And from the trachea, the carbon dioxide passes the nose. And finally, it's released to the environment. That's it. The process of respiration includes inspiration and expiration. Okay, is it clear enough? Do you have any question? Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question, you may ask in forum or in chat group. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.